Yeah, good evening, everyone. So, last session we discussed about working with contracts in object oriented programming. So, what are contracts in object oriented programming? How to design contracts? Contracts are designed by using interface. So, we learned about rules for property. We learned about rules for method. We learned about optional rules. How optional rules are defined? Optional rules are defined by using question. We learned about read-only rules. Read-only rules. These are the basic things we discussed, right? So contracts in object-oriented programming. For that we have interface rules for property, rules for methods, optional and read-only. Now, one more thing about interface we have to know is we call it as extending rules. How we can extend the rules. That means extending rules is nothing but, for example, see, we are creating one interface here. So this interface is suppose HDFC Bank version 1. That is the interface for version 1, right? And in this interface, we define two options. One is personal banking, personal, that is just string, and NRI, that is also string. Now this is used by some users. That means what we done, we developed an app. This app is named HDFC. This is using that contract, HDFC version 1 contract. According to the contract, we need two details to mention inside it. One is what? Personal. This is some personal banking. Okay, this is for general customers. Like this I given. I said NRI. So this is NRI banking. So for NRI customers like this. So this is actually one application we defined and configured. Okay. Now this contract is used by this app. Now after few days, we want to add some new functionality. That means you downloaded, you installed one app, and after you installed, you started using it. And after few days, they want to add some more facilities into that app. Right now, the question is to add that new facility into your app, how to add the new facility without asking to stop using the app. That means the point is to add a new facility. That means they want to add a new facility. In that new facility, these two will be there. Along with that, one new option will be there. That means the both facilities will be there. Along with that, one more extra facility will be there. Right? 1 second. I will So here, without disturbing this contract, we need to add one more rule. So then what we do, we create another interface that is HDFC Bank version 2. In this we will add some loans and we will keep this as string type. That means now our application have to use this second version, right? Then according to second version only loans is there. But second version have to get all old features also. Then this second version extends HDFC Bank version 1. If it extends, then all the old features are available to this one also. Then according to that, we have to implement one more extra. What is it? Loans. Here I will say some loans. So say some car, some bike loans, like this we define. That means without disturbing a contract, we can add some new facilities, new rules by using a concept called extensibility. We call this as extends. A contract can extend another contract. Now, in interviews, they ask this question, why you are not adding these loans into version 1 only? Why you are creating a new contract and extending? Why you cannot directly make changes in the first version only? Huh? Question understood? Huh? That means the question is, you want to add a new feature. Why you are not disturbing the existing contract, and why you are adding a new contract? In that you are giving new feature. Technically, what is the reason for this? Question reasonable, na? Right? Without disturbing the contract, why you are doing it? Let's see, online people, anyone? Separate environment. Yeah, actually for this, okay, actually technical answer for this is, that means why you have to extend. The technical answer for this is actually to handle backward compatibility. To handle backward compatibility. Two situations are there: backward compatibility and multi-versioning. Actually, technically, this is called side-by-side execution. Backward compatibility, multi-versioning, side-by-side execution. So if anybody asks why you are creating a new contract without disturbing the existing contract, the point is to achieve backward compatibility and to achieve side-by-side execution and multi-versioning. What is that means? Backward compatibility means, for example, Windows latest version is 11. All are using Windows 11 only? No. You are using Windows 10, 8. If I ask why you are not using Windows 11, then you will say that why I should use Windows 11. They will say that it has some new features. He will say that I don't want them. I am just satisfied with what is there. And to get those new features, again I need to install some more memory is required. Some existing apps may disturb. Then he will say that my old version is enough for me. That means you should not disturb the old version and develop a new version. So that because that old version is being used by some people. If you disturb the old version, that means you are mandatorily asking everybody that you must install latest version, right? I hope you know when you reset your mobile, all apps in your mobile actually get a factory reset. You know, you will have Gmail app, you have Facebook app, YouTube app, all old version only will reset. Again, you have to update to new version. Am I right? Is every app need to be updated? Not necessary. Some apps, they have added some securities. Such apps you have to mandatorily update. Others you can ignore. So if anybody asks like why I should develop a new version and extend it, why I cannot directly make changes in the old version? To achieve which concept? Backward compatibility. Backward compatibility means user can use a older version. It should available in older version also. Best example I will tell you. Suppose you are using Gmail and you are sending email to somebody. You need to send an attachment. How to attach a file? There is a attach button. You can click. You can select the file and open, or you can drag and drop. Sometimes your internet connection speed is very slow. Suddenly Gmail will alert you. Gmail says that I see that your connection is slow. Do you want to switch to HTML version? HTML version means in HTML version also you can send email attachments, but you cannot drag drop. You have to click browse button, select the file, attach the file, then send. That means you cannot provide your software only to high-end users. That must be available to low-end users also. That means you have to keep your old version and get the new version. Then what if people who have high speed, then they will ask, what is difference between me and him? He is using low speed. For him also Gmail working. I'm using very high speed. For me also Gmail working. Then we will say that if you have high speed, you can do all these facilities. Like you can simply drag and drop and attach your file. That means now two versions of same software can run simultaneously at same time. And it can switch between the versions according to situations. This concept is called side-by-side execution. In software technologies, this is very much trending now. Because all technologies earlier, they don't support side-by-side execution. Now they support. That means, for example, if you install a new version, old version will be removed. But now both versions are available. Old version as well as new. Because of this kind of facility only, cloning of apps is possible. You see, from recent years, you will see that double messengers will be there. You know, earlier we don't have that. WhatsApp, two WhatsApp can be on single mobile. Earlier we don't have that. Earlier we have only one. You log in into another, one will sign out. I hope you know this. This is what side-by-side execution. So that means if anyone asks why I need to extend a contract without making corrections in a contract, because you should not disturb this because somebody is using it. For example, you see this HDFC, I will give latest. Okay. Now somebody else is using. So somebody else is using here. Somebody else is using LET, HDFC. This is what? This is legacy. Legacy means old. Then it will use which contract? HDFC Bank version 1. It will use that contract. Then according to that, it will have only two details. What are those details? personal banking, personal banking and NRI banking. Others will not be there. That is how it actually works. That means now when you are installing a software, it will ask which version you want. We have multiple versions. Observe so many softwares. I hope you have seen that even on suppose Node.js. You see Node.js, 2 versions are there. 19 is the latest, 16 is the old. It is asking you can install which one you want. Multiple versions, right? For example, suppose some MongoDB is there. When I am installing this MongoDB in my computer, then it will ask here, so which version you want? Why to give all old versions? That means if they say that this is the latest, then they expect everybody to use the latest. No, they will not do like that. For example, you are .NET developer, Java developer, latest version of .NET, Java, they have like C# 10, they have like Java 11, latest version something, but companies are still using 7, 8. They are still using old versions only. You are learning new versions, but they are still using old. Why? Because their project already started several years back. They implemented it and they don't want to update to new until or unless client wants to use the new features. They will simply say that continue with old version, why to update? Until or unless they badly need the new features, they will not update. That is the point here. So what is extending means? I will tell you the points here. Extending rules is nothing but you can extend a contract without disturbing existing contract. So TypeScript uses extends keyword. TypeScript uses extends keyword. So syntactically, we have interface, we have old version, and these are the rules, and we have interface, new version, it extends old version. That means now new version, contract can have access to all old version rules. Old version rules can have access to all old version rules. So the new version contract can have access to all old version rules. That is what actually extensibility. This refers to extensibility of contract, which is technically known as inheritance. This is inheritance. A contract is inheriting another contract. Inheritance is extending the components. Without disturbing existing component, you can extend the component. It is extending the component and it is reusing that component related rules. That means inheritance offers extensibility and reusability. It will offer extensibility and reusability. And here inheritance is done by using extends keyword. By using extends keyword, it will do inheritance. So extending the contracts is very important. How we can extend the contracts and how we can use it. Now, what's the example I will paste here? This is one example I will copy and paste for your reference sake. That is the example here. But before that example, one interview question is, why to extend a contract without modifying existing contract? Why to extend a contract without modifying existing contract? That is the key concept. So why to extend a contract? Why to not modify existing contract? Because to handle two things. One is side by side execution. Another one is backward compatibility. Backward compatibility means even you are using latest version, old features also available, right? That means old way also you can handle it. So even there are new features, old options also still available. That is what actually backward compatibility. If old features are removed, only new things are there, then it is not backward compatible. Backward compatible, even you are using a new version, you can use the facilities of old. That is what actually, that is the concept here, right? That is important. Now here the question, another question comes immediately. What is side-by-side execution? Side-by-side execution. What is side-by-side execution? But allowing multiple versions of same software to run on a device. Allowing multiple versions of same software to run on a device is known as side-by-side execution. Side-by-side execution. That is very important, asked in many technology interviews, that they will ask, does your technology support side-by-side execution? Every technology don't support side-by-side execution. Side-by-side execution means you can develop two versions of same software which can run at a time on device. For example, you see in Windows, I have MS Office 2010. I will install MS Office 2015. You can keep 10 and you can install 15. You can use both versions. It's not possible earlier. Earlier what happens, old version is deleted and the new version is installed. But now two versions of same software can run. That is what the side-by-side execution means, right? In this kind of environment, this is very much important, right? So this is extending the contract, and this is an example how we can extend contract. And very important, actually, contract supports means interface support all types of inheritance. Contract supports all types of inheritance. It supports single, it supports multi-level, and it supports multiple. All type of inheritance is supported. Single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and multiple. Why multiple inheritance is supported? Why not for classes? That you will learn. While learning about class, we will see that. So technically, a contract supports all types of inherit, single, multi-level, and multiple. Single means what? One contract is extended by another. Multi-level means that extended contract is again extended. An extended contract is again extended, that is multi-level. Multiple means more than one contract can be used. That means, for example, see here, there is a contract called interface, HDFC name like this. Here we have bank name. Bank name is a string type. Now this is another contract and it is independent. It is not extended. And see here, the latest version have to use, you see latest version. So here it is, latest version is version 2. It is extending version 1 as well as you can keep this comma and we can define. So the HDFC name, that also it can use HDFC name. That means it is contract 1. This is contract 2. It can implement both contracts, right? That means now here, according to that, we have to add a bank name. Bank name is some HDFC bank, something like this. This is multi-level. This is multiple. This is multiple. Multiple means a contract can extend multiple contracts. So it supports multi-level and it supports multiple and it supports single. So that is possible here, right? This is example I will copy. So this is all type contracts, how it works, right? Basically, this is all about contracts concept you have to know. So contracts in object-oriented programming, how to create the contracts and how do we define and use them. Contracts means what? Contracts means interface. Next important, after knowing about interfaces, how to design contracts, the next in OOP concept, you need to know about classes. You need to know about class in object-oriented programming. Already multi-level means already I explained what is example. You can try now. You are not a school kid now, right? Already you are coming from, right? What is multi-level means? So extended contract is again extended. That is what multi-level is. That means suppose you are developing another interface. What is it? HDFC Bank version 3. This extends what? HDFC Bank version 2, right? Now this is extending. And here you added some new options. Suppose, so GOVT. This is string. That means government related some schemes. That means now anything extends that version 3. So that means it have to use the GOVT. That means bank, government, so government schemes like this we have defined. This is multi-level, right? Right. That is what actually an extended contract is again extended. That is multi-level. Right. These are all very basics of general programming, right? Everywhere. Now, next important, you need to understand how the concept of class works, right? Yeah. So technically, what is a class in object-oriented programming? What is a class in object-oriented programming? Technically, class is a program template. Technically, class is a program template. Generally, you might have learned like class is a blueprint, class is a model, or class is an entity like that. Actually, see, I will tell you one simple point here. For example, means what is the correct concept here is, suppose we have business requirements. We have business requirements. According to the business requirements, generally what we do is we develop a database. According to business requirements, we design the database. We design database according to business requirements. Now in software technologies, our developer have to write two types of classes actually. So we need to design a class. Class actually comprises of, so this class actually representing business requirements. That class is representing the business requirements. If you have to design a class for the business requirements, then these classes are called entities. These classes are called entities. Entity means a class which is mapping to business requirements. In software development, if your developer is writing a class directly for database, not business requirement, that means without considering the business requirements, we write classes to work with database. In that case, if a class is designed for interacting with the database, then it is called model. That means now class is an entity and class is a model. Actually, what a class is, if anybody says class is a model, that is correct. Class is an entity, that is also correct. Class is a blueprint, that is also correct. But technically, class is not always entity. Class is not always model. When a class is referred as entity, class is referred as entity only when it is mapping to business. A class is referred as model when it is mapping to data. So in software technologies, if you are a developer and you are designing a class to map to the data requirements, then those classes are called models. And you are writing the classes to handle the business requirements, then you call them as entities. That is the reason all definitions are correct, but all are not perfect. The perfect definition is class is a template. What does template means? A template comprises of sample data and logic. Sample data and logic, which you can implement and customize according to requirements. It contains a predefined logic which you can implement and customize according to requirement. I will show a general example in your HTML way. Not so much in depth I will show you in a HTML way. For example, see here, what I want to do is just one example to make you understand what does class means actually. I'm showing your HTML. You see this is general HTML page. In this HTML, I have a heading, say welcome, and simple. I want the color of heading to change. I want the color of heading to change when user moves the mouse onto it. When user moves the mouse onto it, I want to change the color of heading. Then actually you have to write lot of functionality. Actually, how? See, we have to write functionality like this: on mouse over. So I will give some functionality. That means, so set color. Okay. And on mouse out. So some clear color, like this color. Like this we are defining. Now we need to write a function. We are writing a script, a function, set color. We have to access document.query selector. We have to access heading 1. for that style, for that color, we are keeping as red. And we have function, so clear color, and we have to document dot query selector heading 1 dot style dot color is equal to black. This is how we have to write a logic. Right now, what we are doing here, when we move the mouse onto it, automatically it changes the color, and remove, and it will be normal. That means we have to write some functionality. We have to write some functionality. Now see what happens is, suppose I have some heading 2. So welcome to Angular. For this heading 2, I want to have the same things. But see what I'm doing here. This time I'm writing a style. I'm saying heading 2, and the heading 2 color is black. And heading 2, here I'm applying a class called hover. Hover is a class. What a class contains? This class contains ready-made functionality. It contains that ready-made functionality. That means this class contains this functionality automatically written. That means it will identify is mouse over or not. It will identify is mouse out or not. And what it will do is, it identifies, and you can put a color called red. Without writing any logic, now you see this is also working same. That means what is a class? Class is a template. This template contains sample design and sample functionality, sample data and sample logic. What you are doing? You are just implementing that logic and using it. What is advantage? You don't need to rewrite everything. That means classes will help you in building an application in a simpler way. Without writing much logic, already logic is written, just you have to implement. You can use as it is, how it gives, or you can customize according to your requirement. What we customized here? We customized the color. Which color it should be? Red color, green color, blue color, anything you can change. It have given color. Which color? Your wish. Not only color, you can change anything. That means what is the concept of a class? This is class. This class is having all this functionality ready-made. So without writing that functionality to heading 2, we are applying. So technical terms in software technology, class comprises of sample data and logic. So which you can implement and customize according to your requirement. Very important is, if a class is designed for mapping to data requirements, then it is known as class is known as model. It is called model. And if a class is designed for business requirements, then it is known as what? Entity. Then why class is called as a blueprint? Class is called as a blueprint because it is class is also known as a blueprint, blueprint in general, not in technical. Blueprint is not a technical definition. Don't ever say class is a blueprint in any interview. Right? That is a general term. That is a general term given to you to make you understand how class behaves. That is not definition of class. Never ever say class is a blueprint in any interview. Right? Class is not a blueprint. It is having a behavior of blueprint. It is not blueprint. It is having behavior of blueprint. That means it is known as a blueprint in general behavior. Understood? In general behavior. Blueprint behavior means what? Blueprint behavior means it will provide some blueprint. From the blueprint, you can design new things. Right? For example, suppose a simple means general option I will give here. For example, suppose, so we are having a simple, suppose we are having a simple here. So like this, suppose we are having some Ganesh idol like, we are having some Ganesh idol like, so we are having some Ganesh idol like here. What we are having is a wooden frame. There is a wooden frame with Ganesh idol like. Engraved wooden frame is present. Now what we can do is, into that wooden frame we can put some clay. Take some wet clay and put that in that wooden frame and take out, a duplicate will come. Right? Like that you can take any number of duplicates now. And for one you can put red color. So another one you can put some green color. You can change now. You can customize. And all these are coming from where? All these are coming from the main, they are coming from the main frame. And this is called as a blueprint. Understood? That is called blueprint. So a class is like a blueprint. Wherever you want, any number of times you can use it. But do I need to use it in the same way? No. According to my requirements, I can customize. Here, see here. Here I am changing color. Na? Here I am changing color. No. Later what I can do is, I can change font size if I want. Some 100 pixel. Now what happens this time? When I move the mouse, the font size will change. You see, size changes. I will put some timing also so that you can see. So transition is 2 seconds. Now you can see here, when I move the mouse onto it, it changes the size. Right? It is changing the size and displaying. That means hover is only for color. No, you can customize according to your requirements. I need hover to know whether mouse is over. Functionality I will decide. I will change according to requirements. That is the concept of a class in any computer technology. Either it is Java, .NET, C, C++, any OOP language, class is a program template. And this class have the behavior of entities, it have the behavior of models, and it have the behavior of a blueprint. Depending on the situation, we call different ways. Right? Now technically, in TypeScript, a class is defined by using class keyword. Keyword is defined by using class keyword, and it have two types of declaration techniques. Class have two types of declaration techniques. One is class declaration. So class definition, and another one is class expression. Class have two types of declarations, class definition and class expression. A class can be defined in two ways. One is definition, another one is expression. What is difference between that is, see, actually In a TypeScript, how to create a class, I will show you here. This is TypeScript file index.ts hours. And see here, I am defining a class and class name product. This is one. And whatever the members you want, you can define the members in a class members. Okay. Another way is we have a LET. This is employee is equal to class, and this is called class expression. There are two ways of configuring a class in TypeScript. We have the first one is called class declaration. It is called declaration and definition. Declaration and definition. Second one is called expression. This is called expression. What is difference? So this is a class called product and this is a class employee. What is difference? JavaScript also same. JavaScript classes, same TypeScript classes. What is difference? What do you think? Actually, the first one is that is product is a class. Product is a class. But for this product class, memory is not allocated. Memory is allocated. When you have to use that class, then import that class, then the memory is allocated. But in the second case, memory is allocated and class is loaded. Remember, employee is not class name. Employee is a variable, memory. In that memory, there is a class. That means what is difference is the first technique, it will load the class only when it is necessary. Second technique, the class is loaded and it is ready. You can start using it. That means even you don't start using it, it is loaded. This is burden to application. But sometimes we need classes which need to be get ready without calling them. That means without manually loading them. We want get ready. Then we have to use expression. So class expression is to define classes. This is called eager loading. The first one is lazy loading. The second one is eager loading. Eager loading means it is loading the class even you don't need it. So lazy loading means it will load only when you import and when you call it. That is the two techniques actually. Sometimes we need eager, sometimes we need lazy. So what is difference between these two? So syntactically, so class definition will be like this. How? So syntax class definition, it will be like this. Class and product and whatever you want, you can define. So, and very important definition is for lazy loading of class. Loading of class that you will see in next level, how it is loaded, imported and all, we will see that. So definition is for lazy loading of the class. Another one is class expression. Class expression syntax. We have LET, some employee is equal to class and it has some declaration. This is expression is for eager loading of class. It is lazy loading for class. It is eager loading for class. So that is the point. Situations you will see when you start building application. So how they work. So this is 2 points. First, how to declare a class. We have to use the class keyword. So in any interview, if anybody asks like, what is anonymous class? Actually, this is anonymous class. So it is anonymous class. Anonymous class. Anonymous class means class without name. Employee is not class name. Employee is the memory where the class is present. But still, you can access the class members by using that memory reference. So that is what anonymous means. Anonymous means there will be no name. Not only classes, functions also anonymous. In JavaScript, you might have learned anonymous functions. We have anonymous classes, anonymous functions. You'll see later how to use those anonymous. Actually, that is first point. Means how do we declare a class? Okay, class is declared. Next important is you need to know class members. Class members. Class members. So what can be a member in class? That means in a class what you can have. Actually, every TypeScript class can have only following members. Every TypeScript class can have only following members. One, a class can have a property. A class can have an accessor. A class can have a method, and class can have a constructor. Only four. Nothing else allowed. These are class members. That means the direct members in a class. So a class member means directly in a class, only these four are allowed. If anybody asked you a question like, that means only these are allowed. What are property, method and all, I will tell you. If anybody asked you a question like, can we declare variable as class member? Can we declare variable as class member? That means, can we declare a variable in class? No. You cannot declare a variable in class. Variable cannot be a class member. For example, you see now here, I am creating a class called product. In this, I am declaring var x equal to 10. It's not allowed. You cannot have a variable as a class member. That means now it says, so unexpected token, because only a constructor or a method or an accessor or a property allowed, nothing else. A class can contain only a constructor or a method or a property or an accessor. That's it. Variable not allowed. Now, important is, anybody may ask you why variable not allowed. Allowed in class. Because at experience level, so much depth about question is asked. So at experience level, they can wire up and handle entire interview on one class concept only, if they want. That means entire 1 hour your interview can happen only on class. If they want to test your experience levels, that depends on interviews. Because sometimes if they see that you are answering good and they want to test your experience level more, do you have more in-depth knowledge or not, then they will go into in-depth questions. Remember, interviewer will not go into in-depth questions if he is not satisfied with your previous answers. Right? That means once you saw the interviewer is asking very in-depth questions, that means your previous questions went correct, answers correct. He is going in depth means he is testing more for you, means what? That means he is satisfied with your previous answers. Then only he will go in depth. If he is not satisfied with basic questions itself, he will think that waste of time to ask him in-depth questions. because he don't know just basics also. Then entire interview will be on basic level only. If he is going in depth means your interview is going good, right? If he is going in depth about the concept means your interview is going good. So that means you should not be worried that in depth questions he is asking to me. You must be very happy that your interview is good, because okay, now he is testing my level of experience, right? That is very important. And in that cases lot of consequences are asked. So variable not allowed. Why variable is not allowed in a class? Any idea? Why variable is not allowed in a class? Because what is class? Class is a template. Class is a template. Template means what? It must allow to customize the data according to requirement. Customizing means what? Changing according to requirement. But unfortunately, actually variables are immutable. Variables are immutable, and class cannot have immutable members, because class is a template. Every member should be changeable. Template means every member must be customizable. If a variable is there in a class, variable is immutable, you cannot change it. If you cannot change it, then it is not good for class. That is the reason variables are not allowed in a class. Variables are not allowed in a class. Then where we store data? Data is stored in property, not in a variable. So that means I will tell you here, variables are immutable, and what is the point? And class cannot have immutable members. Understood? Class cannot have immutable members. Remember, I am talking about class members, means direct members of class. I will tell you one more tricky point here, means one more tricky question here. So your interviewer will show you this, and he will say that, see, variable is not allowed. But he will do one more here. What is that? We have a print method. In the print method, we are having a variable. It is allowed. Now he will say that, now justify this. You said variable is not allowed as a class member, and you proved it also. Variable was not working, but now it is working. Now justify your answer. Now it is working. That is what the definition is. Actually, class members means the direct members of a class. Is variable X is a class member now? It's not a class member. It is a method member. It is a method member. So variables cannot be class members. In a class, there can be a method. That means we never said that there cannot be variable in class. That means you should never say that variable cannot be in class. You should say that variable cannot be a class member. Right? Variable can be in class, but not a member of class, but it can be a member of print. There's some method. That is the point, actually. So don't get confused in that. That means why variable not allowed in class is different question. Here the question should be, why variable is not allowed as what? Class member. That is the correct question. Right? Why it is not allowed? Because it is immutable. That means now the question is, can we have a variable in class? Can we have a variable in class? Yes, answer is yes. But as a member of method, not as class. Member of method, not as class. These are so many consequences. Right? Why variables are allowed in a class, why they are not allowed in a class. Right? Same concept. So another question is, can we can we define a function? Can we define class member? Again, no. You cannot have a function inside class as class member. No, there cannot be. Again, same point. Functions are immutable. You cannot have. That means you try to write a function in a class. In a class, you are writing a function. So that means function, demo is a function. It's not allowing. Functions are not allowed in a class. That means now outside the class, function can be there. But inside the class, you cannot have a function. But in a print method, suppose we have some method. In a method, we can have a function. We can have a function. So this is very, very important to understand. So technically, can we define function as class member? No. Another question is, can we define function in class? Function in class, answer is yes. These are all tricky questions you should know, right? And another important, what is difference between class and, difference between property and variable. Difference between property and variable. So the answer is both are used for storing data. Data in a class is stored in property. And variables also are used for storing data. What is difference is property is mutable and variable is immutable. That is very important. That is the difference between property and variable. Now, how do we, another important point, another is, means the difference we will see more. If anybody asks, can you prove this? Can you prove that property can change and variable cannot change? Right? We can do that. Property can change, variable cannot change. We can prove that. How you can prove property can change? Because, see, for example, I am declaring here, suppose I am declaring a LET, suppose username. Username is a variable. So, and it is a string type, and I am using prompt, enter username. And it is having data type as, the data type as null, because prompt is expected with null. Similarly, LET username, so role is a string type and it is null, and prompt we are giving enter your role, either admin or something like. We have a class called product class, okay, and here we have another LET product name. Product name is a string and it is also null. It is also expected. Prompt enter product name here. Now in this class, so we have, so underscore product name, it is a property. It is a property and it is a property string type, and it is undefined type, string and undefined. Currently there is no value supplied into it. Now the concept is very simple actually. Suppose means one question is asked to you. The question is nothing but, suppose we have a variable that is a product name is equal to some TV. Now a question is for you that this product name should not be changed. Once you define the product name, it should not be changed. Then what is the suggestion you will give? How to declare in such a way that you cannot change it? Variable this is. then you make it as constant. If I say constant product name, am I right? Then what will happen? You cannot change. Once you initialize, that is final. That's good. But the question asked to you is, people who have admin role, they can change. Others cannot change. No. Constant means always not changeable. Var means always changeable. How you design a property in such a way that it can change its behavior? Means it should be mutable. For certain situations, it should not allow to store data. For certain situations, it should allow to store data. That means a property can change its behavior according to situation. Variable cannot change. Cannot change. Always only one type. Property can change its behavior. How it changes the behavior? See, I will show you. For that, properties can use accessors. Properties can use accessors. So, to control this property product name, I am creating an accessor called getter. Get product name. It is an accessor. What this accessor will do is, it will return this dot underscore product name. That means it will return this name. That means accessors are used to have a good control over property. Remember, this is all JavaScript only. Means nothing new in TypeScript. JavaScript have class, accessors. In the same way, you have to learn in JavaScript oops actual. So this is accessor. Only the additional thing here is data type in TypeScript. Rest of options are same. This is accessor, which is used for reading. We will use another accessor, setter, that is product name. And what this have to do? It have to take new name, which is what type? String. And it should apply that new name to this. That means it should apply that new name to this one. That means you see, you are saying string and it is saying undefined. That means string or what type? Undefined. Until it is not applied, it is undefined. Now it have to take the string and it have to set. That means this dot underscore product name is equal to new name. Whatever the new name you applied, it will store. But here we have a condition. No, it's not everybody. Everybody cannot set the name. Here we will write a condition. If username is match, if not username, if role is matching with admin, understood? Then only this should happen. If role is matching with the username, means admin, then only it should allow to set the name. If it is not matching, then we will print a message, document.write. We will say you are not authorized to set product name. We will display that. We will put a simple message here. That means we are displaying a message here. Hello. So I simply we will put here the username, and you are not authorized to set product name. You are not authorized to set product name, because who can set product name? Only the people who have role as admin. Okay, that is the option. Okay. Now a class is ready. In this class, there is a property. This property can change its behavior. That means if admin, then allowed to store value. If not admin, it is read only. You can only read, you cannot write. That means it is changing its behavior according to situation now. Okay, let's create an object. That means let, some TV is equal to new product. We are creating an object for that class. And here we will put here. So TV have a option, TV.product name is equal to, this is setter. Whatever the product name entered here, it will be stored. It will be stored. And very important, here it is showing that, so because it is nullable, string and nullable, and but here it is defined as undefined. Name is defined as undefined. That means you can configure one more type. What type? Null. Then here also product name should be defined as undefined. As what type? Null. We have to add all of them because we can supply directly, we can supply dynamically. It can have union of types. Okay. Now another option is here we will write if it is product name, that means I am just defining if TV dot product name, that means it is defined, it is having some value, then print it. Document dot write, we will print that message. What is the message? We will say so name, say name is equal to whatever the name is there, TV dot product name. We are printing the details. This is all program, but this is not program to run in compile mode, command mode, because it is having lot of DOM methods. So what we do, we will compile it into JavaScript. Then we have to link it. So TSC, what is it? Index.ts. After that, we have to link in a HTML page and use it. Okay, close it. Now go to HTML page and link that index.js. And you run this here. Then it will say enter username. I'm entering username. Suppose John. Okay, enter role. Role I given as customer. Okay, product name. Product name is some Samsung TV. Then it says you are not authorized. You are not authorized. Okay, let's run this one more time. This time I'm entering username John and role is some admin. Now product name is some Samsung TV and it is available. That means for certain people it is restricting, for certain people it is releasing that restriction. That's good. That is mutable means. If anybody says prove mutable, then programmatically we have to show that. That means we need to show that properties are mutable. That means they can change their behavior according to the situation. Then they will ask prove this through a program. That means we need to use this. This is what actually the concept of accessors. Property is mutable, variable is immutable. Because if you declare var with var or let, always they are changeable. If you declare with const, always not changeable. Then now I want changeable, not changeable to change according to the situation. Then we have to go with what? Properties. So this is one example how we can handle. So this is one example I will copy. This is the complete example. This is index.ts. After that you have to translate tsc index.ts. Then you have to link to index.html because here it is having lot of coding. This is index.des. Now in class you learned two things. One is about property, another one is about accessor. So we have learned property and accessor. And we have more about accessors, how accessors are used and methods and constructors are used in a class. That we'll see in next session. Right, next session we will discuss more about class members. We have access modifiers, we have other concepts also that we will continue, right? So if we can finish these OOP concepts as early, that means it will take 4 or 5 sessions more to finish all OOPs. Then we can start our Angular. Okay, so we will continue our next session on Tuesday. Monday is off on Diwali. A very happy Diwali to all. And Monday we will have no session, right? Again, our session will be on Tuesday. Okay, right. Temporarily, all these notes I will upload into the same classroom. Okay. From Monday, Tuesday onwards, I will change the classroom code. The new code I will share with you on Tuesday. Okay.